Hello, my name is Edwin Rutsch, and I'm the director of the Empathy Center located here in beautiful Santa Barbara, California. The center's mission is to build the empathy movement and to raise the level of empathy in society through education and community building initiatives.
And my name is Anita Nowak. I teach at McGill University, and I'm the author of Purposeful Empathy, a book that invites readers to turn up the volume of empathy in their lives.
And at the beginning of 2024, Anita and I co-hosted the Empathy Summit, brought to you by the Empathy Center, and more than 40 authors of books about empathy participated.
They shared what their book was about, why they were motivated to write it, and what they hope readers will take away. Thank you so much for watching, and we hope you'll buy their book. To introduce Tina Kuhn, who is the CEO of the Lanzer Group, an organization that seeks to empower owners to grow their businesses. Tina has expertise in organizational transformation, spanning the cybersecurity, defense, intelligence, and government and commercial industries. She is the author of The E-Suite, Empathetic Leadership for the Next Generation of Executives. She is gifting also 20 audiobooks to the Empathy Summit. Welcome, Tina.
Hi, thank you, Anita, and thank you for all the great authors. This was an amazing group of people here. So I wrote this book as because of my real life execution of empathy as a CEO. So a couple of years ago, I was brought into this mid-tier cyber security organization, and I was brought in to make significant change people, process, tools, the organization structure, everything. And you guys know change creates a lot of angst among people, including leadership that has to go through the change. So I had this vice president that had also been brought in to help change, and we had very different styles. And we just butted heads a lot. And it took us a lot of time to kind of work out just working together. And as we started working through this, we started talking about empathy because we were using empathy tools to understand each other. So our talks started to get not just how we were going to work together, but how we could bring empathy into the larger organization and help this transformation and help this, the whole team and all the employees make all of these changes and be good with it. So we did that. The transformation went very well. And what we found is that empathy had a real positive impact, a real return on investment. It was amazing, actually. And as I think it was Natalie who talked about the ROI, empathy, in my opinion, is a hard leadership skill. It's not a soft skill. It is one that is necessary, and I think leaders that have empathy bring in more money to their organization. So before I go into my book, I just wanted to read a couple survey and polls because there's such a difference between leaders and employees. So this was a poll on CEOs. This was 82% of CEOs said that their company's financial performance was tied to empathy. Isn't that amazing that empathy is now being recognized by CEOs? Now, I think there's a gap between their actions and what they are thinking. So that was another motivation of me writing this book, is to help leaders work through how to really apply empathy in their organization. So why do CEOs think this? They think because it increases trust, it increases productivity, motivation, well-being, and it decreases attrition. So there was another survey, and I can send out the who did the surveys. 900 employees were surveyed and said if they had an empathetic boss, they would be more motivated, more creative, and more likely to want to stay with the employer. I mean, these are like big positives for empathy, right? Like hard positives for empathy. So another one, 61% of employees felt more innovative compared to only 13% of those without an empathetic leader. Wow. I mean, you want your employees to be innovative, to look at new ways of doing things, to, solve problems. So being empathetic will bring that. That's a real return on your investment. And then finally, 72% of employees are willing to work longer hours for an empathetic employer. Crazy, why you have empathy in your organization? Why wouldn't every leader learn how to be empathetic and how to apply empathetic techniques throughout their whole organization? So as I went through this process myself, and it was a process, and I didn't do everything right, but I feel like I really grew a lot during that year that I was really focusing on this transformation and empathy and how to change myself to inspire others in the organization to also be empathetic and have it flow through the organization. So my book, I actually wrote it. I have a co-author, and it was this vice president that I worked with this transformation. We learned so much about empathy and how to work together that we ended up writing this book together. So the book goes through kind of different personality styles in business, different management styles, and how you can work with each other. I really like some of the guides that we have in the book. We have one that's a confrontation guide. How do you confront someone with empathy? How it takes, you have to actually plan your confrontation. You don't want to do it with anger. So I'll just take a little aside. Just for everyone to think about, anger is a secondary emotion. The primary emotion that causes anger is fear. So I would like for everyone on the call to think about the last time they got angry and figure out what the fear is behind it. And you see that in leadership a lot when they're getting angry, but their anger is really their fear that they're going to look bad, fear that they're going to lose some income, fear that their boss is going to be angry or their customer is going to be not happy with them. So I think everyone should look at where your anger is, because then that traces back to what your fear is. And then fear you can work on.
1 minute.
So, okay. So the book has 3 parts. In each part, it has vignettes, little stories that are easy to understand, scenarios on how to apply empathy in all these different types of situations. So the first part is organization strength and high-performing teams, how to create them. The second part is managing and leading organizational transformations, and that's where the confrontation guide is there. And then part 3 is around hiring, marketing, and sales with empathy. So thank you so much. I am just excited to be a part of this summit, and I'm really looking forward to hearing the rest of the authors. Thanks.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Tina.